Seventh graders, like I promised yesterday, we're reviewing for a test. I'm going to make it go as quickly as possible, so again, feel free to flip back and forth if you need to, stop it and go back, whatever needs to happen. As always, please ask me questions if you still need help with something. And I do apologize because after lots of looking at it, I taught you how to find the surface area of a trapezoidal prism incorrectly. So we're going to go over the correct way today, but it will not be on your test. Okay, so here we go. So we first looked at kind of beginning algebraic type things. So find the sum of negative 3a plus 1, 5a minus 3. So we combine like terms. Negative 3a plus 5a is 2a. 2 plus a negative 1, 3 is negative 1. So we have 2a minus 1. Next we did subtraction. 40 plus 9 minus 30 plus 2. So we first combine. So 40 plus 9 is 49. 30 plus 2 is 32. Subtract them, 17. We use the distributive property. So multiply the number on the outside by both the inside numbers. 2 times 10. 2x plus 10. 6x plus 6. 3x plus 12. 7x plus minus 21, excuse me. Rewrite in standard form by collecting like terms. So basically simplifying. So first, we made them have the same denominator. So to do that, we had to multiply the first half, that 2x minus 11 over 4, by 5. That's why there's that 5 outside the 2x minus 11. And the other side by 2. So we have 2 times 3 times x minus 2. Okay, so then we distribute that, 10x minus 55. And we can do that. Then we have 10x minus 6x equals 4x. And negative 55 plus 12 equals 43. 4x minus 43 over 20 simplifies to 1/5 x minus 2 and 3/20. Okay. We looked at combining those terms in terms of word problems. So Sophia paid a $19.99 membership fee for an online music store. She bought 2 songs for 99 cents each. What's the cost? So 99 cents x plus 19.99, where x is the number of songs. So we can figure out what her cost is. She bought 2 songs, it's $21.97. And then we have a friend who wants to not spend more than $118. So we kind of do the opposite here, find out what x can be for her to not spend over 118. So that's 99 songs. Then we looked at if-then. So with addition, if a equals b, then a plus c equals b plus c. Subtraction, a minus c equals b minus c. Multiplication, a times c equals b times c. And division added that extra c cannot equal 0 because you cannot divide by 0. So a divided by c equals b divided by c. We looked at angles. Seems like forever ago. So we had adjacent angles, vertical angles, so those were opposites, angles on a line, so ones that shared a common point, and angles at a point, or that shared one line, and then angles at a point which share a common point. So when you were doing this, first step was to determine the angle relationship. Next, find the measure of the missing angle. So you can quickly look at the points. For this, I will probably just have you use like the definitions. So you have 2 angles with a common side or adjacent if that is true. 2 angles are vertical if their sides form 2 pairs of opposite rays. The sum of the measures of 2 angles that share a ray and form a line is 180, and then the measure of angles formed by 3 or more with the same vertex is 360. There could be a question about the steps, but probably not. Next, we looked at inequalities. So when both sides of an inequality are added or subtracted by a number, the inequality symbol stays the same, and the inequality symbol is said to be preserved. When both sides of an inequality are multiplied or divided by a positive number, the inequality symbol stays the same, and the inequality symbol is said to be preserved. So added or subtracted by any number, multiplied or divided by a positive number, but when both sides of an inequality are multiplied or divided by a negative number, the inequality switches from greater than to less than, or from less than to greater than. So it's reversed. So determine if the inequality would be preserved or reversed. So if you add 2, to both sides, it's going to be preserved because you're adding a number. Multiplying by a -1 is going to be reversed because you're multiplying by a negative number. And again, common sense tells you that 3 is bigger than -4. Inequality statements. So Shay, he earned $7.55 per hour plus an additional $100 in tips waiting tables on Saturday. He earned at least $160 in all. Write an inequality and find the minimum number of hours to the nearest hour that Shay, you worked on Saturday. So our inequality is 160 because that's the least amount he could have made, is less than or equal to 7.55x plus 100. So first we subtract that 100 from each side. So we're left with 60 divided by 7.55. He had to have worked at least 8 hours. Okay. When graphing inequalities, you have 4 different types. You have an open circle going to the left, open going to the right, closed circle going to the left, closed circle going to the right. So open is when it's just greater than or less than. Closed is when it's greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. And then left or right based on the sign and the numbers. So half the distance, or then we looked at circles. So the radius is half the distance across the circle. Diameter is the distance across the circle. Circumference is the distance around the circle. Perimeter of a semicircle is the sum of the length of the diameter and half of the circumference of a circle with the same diameter. Remember, pi is abbreviated with that little symbol, and it's estimated at 3.14 or 22/7. So formulas, find the radius, it's diameter divided by 2. Diameter is 2 times radius. Circumference can be found using 2 pi r or pi times the diameter. A semicircle is perimeter, so d plus half times pi times diameter. Area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. So find the circumference and the area of the following, including the perimeter of the semicircle. So for the radius, and I will give you these formulas on your assignment, so whichever ones you need to use, I'll give them to you. So we're finding the circumference, so 2 times the radius is going to be 4 times pi is 12.56. Area, pi times radius squared. So radius squared is 2, so same thing as 12.56, just with a centimeter squared. And then the perimeter, diameter, plus half pi times the diameter. So half, let's do, is 10.28. So you'd plug that into your calculator as, or write it out on paper. Diameter is 4 times pi, so 3.14, which is 12.56, and then half of that is 6.52 or 28, something like that, and then plus the diameter again, so 4 is a semicircle area, or perimeter of 10.28 centimeters. Okay, so next we have 14 for our diameter. So 14 times pi, 43.96. 14, or to find the area, we take half of it, which is 7, squared is 49 times pi, 153.86 centimeters squared. And then semicircle, again, half the pi times 14 plus 14 gives us 35.98 for the perimeter of a semicircle with that diameter. All right, next is area formulas. So parallelogram, base times height, triangle, half the base times the height, circle, pi times the radius squared, rectangle, base times height, trapezoid, half times base 1 plus base 2 times the height. Again, I'll give you the proper equation or formula for the ones you need. So find the area of the shaded region. So first we find the area of the outer circle, then the inner circle. So we take pi times 3 squared minus pi times 2 squared. We get 28.26 minus 12.56, which equals 15.7. So that shaded region is going to be 15.7 units squared. Trapezoid. So add our two bases. 5 and 12 is 17 times the height divided by 2 gives us 59.5 inches squared. Surface area and volume of the right rectangular prism. Surface area, we got to find each one. Oops. So we would take 10 times 6.5 times 2, 10 times 11 times 2, and 11 times 6.5 times 2. Add them together and you get 493 inches squared. Volume, you just take all 3 times each other. So 10 times 11 times 6.5. And you get 715 inches cubed. Find the surface area and volume of the triangular prism. So surface area, we find the 2 bases, the 2 triangles. So 3 times 4 is 12, times half is 6, times 2 is 12, plus 5 times 11 is 55, plus 4 times 11 is 44, plus 3 times 11 is 33. We end up with 144 centimeters squared. Then for volume, you take okay, so volume, we got to find the area of the base. So we already did that. It's 6. Then times 11 is 66 centimeters cubed. All right. All right, so now again, I promise we're looking at the trapezoid. However, you will not have one on your assignment, in your test. So surface area is the lateral area plus 2 times the base. Okay, so we find the lateral area by taking the perimeter of the trapezoid base. So 6 plus 5 plus 12 plus 5. So you see that there, times 10, which is the height or the depth, you could say, of the trapezoidal prism. Okay, so we find that. Then we add that to the area of the 2 bases. So 2 times 0.5 times 4 times 6 plus 12. So simplified a little bit is 28 times 10 plus 2 times 36. And then final answer is 352 centimeters squared. Again, I greatly apologize for that. Trapezoids are very tricky. But like I said, they will not be on your assignment. So then for volume, we take the area of one of the bases, then we multiply it times the depth. So all right, so one of the bases times 10, so 36 times 10, we get 360 centimeters cubed. All right, so again, that was a lot, I get it, but please complete the admittal questions for the Unit 3 test. Again, like I said at the beginning, go back, check things over if you still have questions. I will include the formulas like I did on yesterday's assignment. Please let me know if you have any questions, and good luck on your test.